Does Canon really offer free loaners while your gear's in for service? Free rentals to try out on high-end lenses like the 400mm f2.8 or even the 800mm f5.6, the 1200mm f8, along with complimentary maintenance? Well, I've been a Canon CPS Gold and Platinum member for many years now. Perhaps my experience might help you understand the benefits of Canon CPS Gold and Platinum from somebody that's not trying to sell it to you. And if you are serious about staying ahead of the latest camera gear, then go ahead and hit that subscribe button. It helps this channel grow while keeping you in the loop. Title: Gold level. I've been a Canon CPS Gold member since 2020, and this is not a paid advertisement. This is just my experience with Canon CPS this year alone. I just recently had a couple of, how shall we say, experiences. And I think for those of you that are kind of on the fence about getting it, this is really kind of a must-watch video. Some benefits of Platinum, for example, such as free rentals, free loaners when your gear's getting in for service, or free maintenance, well, they can really start to add up. But let's start with Gold. Benefits vary slightly from country to country, but in Canada and the United States, Gold members get 20% off the repair costs for up to 10 items, and that resets each year. Complimentary maintenance, that's on up to 5 items annually. And the expected turnaround is 3 business days in the United States, or 5 business days in Canada. And they also offer free return shipping on repairs. To qualify for Gold, you need to own at least 2 APS-C or better Canon bodies and 2 L-series lenses. The cost? Well, it's $100 in the United States and it's $100 in Canada. I had Gold for about 4 years and I didn't use it an awful lot. It was there kind of like insurance, something you didn't want to use. Because at the time, I really only had the one full-frame camera that was running this business, and I couldn't afford to send it in, even for a cleaning, even for 5 days. But Platinum membership really changed that. And with a Platinum level, you actually get 30% off service instead of 20% that you get with Gold. And on my recent, how should we say, expedition out in the wild, the Great Canadian Hinterland, I damaged the top LCD. I wasn't doing anything reckless, I really wasn't. I had the Ninja 5, which is on the camera right now, on top of the R5 Mark II. I had tightened it, but like a lot of threaded devices, sometimes if the thing isn't quite balanced properly, if it's off kilter and you tighten it, it's, you know what I'm talking about, right? Well, what happened was I went to move the camera and it fell, and the corner, it must have hit just right, because right here on the LCD, it cracked it. And I just, at first I thought it was a smudge. I'm gonna like put my glasses on. No, I had damaged it. So I got to experience Canon CPS Platinum service firsthand. As soon as I got back to the house, I called Canon asking for a free loaner, which they obliged. Once it received, I packed up my own R5 II in the same box and uploaded the config file to the loaner, keeping all my settings exactly the same. So how much did it cost? Well, you're not going to believe this. It was just $90.09, and that's after tax. $73.50 for labor, $6.23 for parts, and $10.36 for tax. And folks, that's all in Canadian dollars. In a world where companies are combining more and more components together, increasing the cost of repairs, it's nice to see that Canon has not only designed a very capable camera, but they've also designed it with a good repairability factor. The LCD, I mean, who would imagine that this is the part that you would end up damaging, but that it's easily replaceable for just $90, that's 60 US or about 50 euros? That's pretty impressive. In a world where car parts are costing up to $2,000 to do repairs because they're combining pieces together, or even with this laptop, this MacBook Air, if this needs a repair, I take it in, they just replace the entire motherboard. They don't try to repair it. They don't try to take out the chip that's fried and put in a new one, which really wouldn't take all that long. No, it's easier to say to you, I'm sorry, sir, it's going to cost $1,100, and that's just for the part alone. At which point, well, you only have one choice, buy a new machine. So I really appreciate that. But you might notice that this camera's got some graffiti on it. And that's because this is the loaner model that Canon sent me while they were fixing my R5 II. So why do I have both cameras, you might be asking? Shouldn't I have turned it back? Am I one of those customers that just hangs on to things longer than I should? No. You see, as part of this service that I had with Canon, I was talking about the autofocus issues that I was having versus, well, 1.0.2 versus 1.0.3. But what I noticed is there's definitely some differences with how 1.0.3 handles autofocus less reliably than 1.0.2 with the exact same camera. So they've asked me to keep this for the weekend, and I'm going to do some more testing today, and I should be able to get them more information, and hopefully that helps us get this issue fixed, because I definitely did notice something that's repeatable, but that's not what this video is about. The free loaners, incredible. And in case you're wondering, did I have to ship off my camera first? No. And I asked them, I said, look, can I wait till I get the replacement, which only took a day, before I ship it back and I can use the same box? And they said, yeah, no problem. They're really great people to deal with, at least at the Canon Canada location. Very good, personable people, very down to earth, easygoing. Just, you know, especially when, you know, your camera, which is how you generate revenue in business, is damaged. It really felt good. But that leads me to something else. So this is part of the free loaner program. Now, if they take 6 weeks to actually fix it, I get to keep the loaner for 6 weeks. But let's say you want to try out their, I don't know, 24-105 f2.8. It's not a cheap lens. You want to try it out before buying it. Now, maybe you're lucky your store allows free returns, but you don't want to have to go through that mess. You want to try it out. You maybe want to try it against a 24-105 f4. Well, Canon has what they call a test drive program with Platinum level. And what that gives you is the ability to try out any Pro Series camera, not cinema, any Pro Series camera, or any L Series lens, with some exceptions to lenses like the 200 to 800 millimeter. All you do is you call them up, or you fill out the form online and you say, look, I would like this lens. You tell them when you want it. I always try to have it delivered on a Wednesday or Thursday, so that way I have it for the full weekend, right? It works out well. And they ask, well, how long do you want it for? And I say, 3 days usually. Now, you have the option of doing 3 days or 6 days, and here's how that works. If you get it for 3 days, well, then you're able to test drive it again. If you do it for 6 days, that's it. And this doesn't reset every year. Basically, for whatever they release, you're allowed 2 test drives of 3 days or 1 test drive of 6 days. And the good news is, not only does that not cost you anything, the shipping to you and the shipping back, that's covered by Canon. So if you want to test drive the Canon RF, let's say 400mm f2.8, or the 800mm f5.6, or even the 1200mm f8, the 600mm prime, the 400mm prime, which I just talked about, they're all covered. And I got to tell you, it's great. Already this year, I've had the luxury of test driving at least 3 Canon lenses. In the middle of a massive storm, I tried the Canon RF 24-105 f2.8, and it was absolutely spectacular. Just look how sharp it is. Then I got to try the 35mm f1.4 and the RF 24-70 f2.8. And again, to put this into perspective, to rent these same lenses from a company like KEH, and again, not sponsored, the 24-105 f2.8 would cost $94.71 for 3 days. The 24-70 f2.8, $63.13. Whereas the 35mm f1.4 is around $50 for a total of $207.84. Well, right there, that pretty much covers the cost of the Platinum membership, which is $250 every year. Now, this is one of those occasions where Canadians actually get one over their American counterparts. It's $250 in Canada, and it's $250 in the United States. And with the dollar discounted to a terrible price of 72 cents, that makes the Canadian price around $200. That'll probably correct itself over the next couple of years, but still, $250. Now, KEH offers really good pricing, and that didn't include taxes or other costs. I didn't check in to see if there was shipping. Here in Canada, I checked, and the rental costs were considerably higher. I was looking at something like $40 to $60 per day. That's right, pretty high costs. Now, I'm not saying that you're going to want to use this test drive program for renting lenses. If you're a business and you're a really good and profitable business, being able to test drive one lens twice over its lifetime, that's not going to work. But where it really helps is if you're a professional and you want to try something out, you want to try it before buying it, it's great because instead of going to a camera store, you actually get to try out the lens where you want to. And when I go out to Vancouver this summer, there's one lens I want to try, but I don't want to have to bring it with me. So I'm going to contact Canon, have them ship it out while I'm there, try it while I'm there, and then ship it back. It's a really, really great program. So what do I think? Do I recommend Canon CPS Gold or Platinum to you? What if you're not a business? What if you're just a hobbyist that has some really good lenses? Let's start with Canon CPS Platinum. CPS Platinum is Canon's way of saying, we've got your back. We get it. You cracked your LCD, no problem. Send it to us. Shipping's covered. We'll fix it and we'll drop the price of 30% on the repair costs. It's all good. And that 400 f2.8 that you wanted to try out? Yeah, no problem. You want it for 3 days, 6 days? No problem. We'll ship it to your door. Shipping's covered. And by the way, we're noticing that that lens you've got way back here, Simon, it looks a little dirty. Why don't you send that in to us and we'll clean it up free of cost. And the camera body. And I noticed you were talking about the R1 recently. How would you like to have that over the May 2-4 long weekend? That'd be great, wouldn't it? And you know what, Canon? I think that would be great. I do think, guys, let me know what you think. What about test driving the Canon EOS R1 with a 400mm f2.8? How about that for the May 2-4 weekend, assuming the weather's great? That's something I'm planning. I think that the Platinum level for $250, I didn't plan on test driving all these lenses. The 24 to 70 is now on my purchase roadmap, as is the 35mm f1.4. The 24 to 105, I love it, but it's a harder sell. What I love about this guy here, the f4, that's not it, it's right here. What I love about this lens is it's a terrific travel lens. It's compact, and yes, there are problems with that, but I find that for travel, I really do love this. This is where this comes in. I've already saved, if this was Canada, I've saved well over $250. And it's not that I go, okay, good, you know, I got something on Canon. No, the way I see it is, I didn't have to worry about a stop in production. Yes, I felt crappy because I just damaged the camera and I felt angry at myself. But knowing that it was all taken care of, I'd never done CPS Platinum before. Call them up. They ship out a loaner. It came here the next day. I immediately put mine in the box, shipped it back. They did the repair. They worked on things. They had some questions for me based on the autofocus, and we had a few conversations on the phone. It was a very positive experience. It's amazing for professionals. And if you're not a professional, if you are, let's say, a hobbyist, and you are eyeing some lenses, and you're not close to a major city or a major camera store, that test drive program alone is well worth it. And also getting up to 10 maintenances a year. Now, when we're talking about maintenances, we're basically talking about 7 or 12 or 18 point inspections. We're talking about sending this in, having them clean the sensor, the EVF, and other parts of the camera. Same with the lenses. But if something goes wrong, you can get it fixed really quickly. So again, I'm not going to tell you what to get. I think that the gold membership is good. If you do ever have any repairs, you're going to save 20%. But if, on the other side of things, if you're not using your camera day in and day out, well, imagine you have one $500 repair. That's paying Canon CPS Gold for 5 years. So you've got to look at the benefits there. Now, when it comes to CPS Platinum, sure, it's $250 a year, but you get to test drive all the latest stuff that they come out with, and Canon's constantly coming out with new lenses every year. You have free shipping, you have the free maintenance. And I think if you can get the Platinum level get it. It offers better value. And plus, if anything does go wrong, they immediately ship you something else, so you don't have to be without your gear. It's all covered. And, you know, if you're still feeling a little bit down over the damage, then ask them to throw in a test drive at the same time so that you've got something to look forward to. I'm very happy with Canon CPS Platinum. Very happy. And, you know, I've dealt with the folks at Canon Canada from, you know, issues I had with the R5 II when it first came out. And so I would deal with the cinema people for support. And they were always very, very polite, very, very helpful, very knowledgeable people. If you ever needed to talk to somebody really, really brilliant in the field, they would take care of that. I've seen it for repairs. You know, I'm very happy. So might be different where you are, but I imagine that there are some subtleties. Now, one thing I was told, and this is very, very important, because it wasn't the case when I got CPS Gold, and it might vary from region to region. This is very important. There is one stipulation that you have to be a business, and you need to provide proof of that. It's in the terms of conditions. Now, they never asked me to prove it. And just because I have this channel doesn't prove that I have a business, right? They didn't see my charter. They didn't see my federally incorporated business number. And if you're a sole proprietorship, you're a business and there's nothing to prove because there's no papers, right? So I heard one gentleman, he sent me an email just a few days ago saying that he tried to get CPS Platinum and they said, no, you need to prove you're a business. Well, for that gentleman, I would say, well, tell them you're a sole proprietorship. This is your business. This is what you do. I think what Canon's trying to do is ensure that it goes to people who are serious and not just people trying to get free gear all the time. The first time around, it was CPS Gold. It was in 2020. I called them up on the phone using the 1-800 number. They already had my lenses and my camera bodies registered, so they could see them there. And that's all I had to do. So you have your gear registered. That's another reason why you want to register your gear so they can see it. But no proof of business. But depending on what region you're in, you might see that. So get prepared for that. If you don't have articles of incorporation, like you're an LLC, a limited liability corporation, you're a sole proprietorship, you just do your taxes at the end of the year. Well, a sole proprietorship is a business. You just need to talk like a business and let them know that, yes, you're a business, you're a sole proprietorship, this is what you do. And it really helps if you have all your gear registered. So I don't think that should really stop you from becoming a member of said gold or platinum levels. But on that note, let me know what you think in the comment section down below, where these have saved your bacon, what your experiences have been, because I don't want people to just read what I have to say. I want to start a discussion so other people can hear what you've gone through. And if you are interested in purchasing any camera gear right now from Adorama, B&H, or Amazon.com, please consider using my affiliate links down below. These guys right here. There's some 20 to 30 cameras and lenses still on sale from Canon, Nikon, and Sony. I know. It's not June yet. We are expecting prices to go up a little bit, but right now there's a lot of really great sales on across the board. Nikon, Canon, Sony, so check those out. If you do use those links though, I do get a small commission back of between 2 to 5%. But that's it for now. Thank you so much for watching. Have yourself a great day, and we'll see you again soon.